YouTube, what's up guys? S-Dub here. Hopefully we can cure some boredom again. So today your boy got the weather breaking. Your boy got a bike right here that I got a wrench on. I just shot a video on how to knock that winter rust off your mower. I'm actually shooting a video on wrenching off the chainsaw right here. But today guy, he say the weather broke and he's trying to ride his bike, so he like, hey, can you get it ready for me? It's been sitting in my shed for a while, and I need it ready by Friday. Today's Wednesday, that's 2 days, but here at the Sweet Spot, we believe we could fix anything. So, just about to get fixed in like an hour. I'm gonna say 2 hours, just because I like to, sham a lot, Sham Nation, whoop whoop. But enough jaw jacking, let's get it. Okay, the first thing on the bike is I need to test to see if his guard is actively touching the tire. It doesn't look like it. I've already loosened the 2 bolts, but there's rust coming on the chain and the bolts. So what I'm going to do is wire brush the bolts, grease all the bolts and the nuts. I'm going to wire brush the chain. See some rust, surface rust. I'm going to grease it up with my lithium grease. His sprocket up here is rusting. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna check, make sure both of the mud and splash guards are not rubbing the tire. Both tires are flat. What else? I need to fix and tighten his reflector up here. Other than that, just from quick review or quick inspection, walk around, and looks like that's it. Some rust on up in here, so I'm gonna pull the pedals off, clean those, get the rust off. These bolts rusted. I'm gonna hit that. Yeah, that tire's flat. Yeah, so these are the inner tubes I'm gonna put on right here, self-sealing tube. So I'm gonna start with the front tire, and that's just because it's the easiest. I've already loosened the nuts on it, so front tire is the easiest to repair. So working on this is I have to pop off the 2 screws holding on the mud flap here, because if I'm not, oh no, even better, this is actually not connected to the tire assembly, it's connected to the fork. So I just need to pop these off and we're good to go. Make sure you don't lose your parts. Alright. Tire should come right off. There it is. Okay, to get this right, just go around, hit it real decent. I've already cleaned the bolts. Now I'm about to remove this tire, the inner tube, put the new one in. Right here, I'm removing the valve stem cap. And the valve stem is right here, push that in, pop it to the side. Getting the tire off is pretty easy. There we go. Now all you do is just slip it over. You can grab a butter knife or a screwdriver, any flat surface if you want. You don't want to manhandle it. Be pretty on your hands. There we go. Snatch this inner tube out. Alright, don't know anything about it. I'm going to see if the inner tube just flat due to time. He don't care, he don't want them. But if these inner tubes are good, I'm going to keep them because I'm always working on bikes. So we're gonna toss that to the side. I've already did 1/2, but you just come around. All right. Now here comes the fun part. Take your inner tube. There's no particular thread or groove pattern on the bike tire, so there is no rotation, so it doesn't matter how you put the tire onto the rim. Right. We're gonna get that in there real good. There we go, it's in there. Find your valve stem insert slot. Start with the valve stem, makes it so much easier. There we go. And just start bringing the tire around. Personally, I like to put it in the rim first, but sometimes it don't work that way. And all I'm doing is just muscling both ends down. Bam, it's in there. Pull your valve stem, make sure it's all the way out. That's good to go. Now what we have to do is air it up so it'll pop in and seat real good. So now we just pump it up. The tires recommend 40 psi, so, and when you're pumping it, you can hear it trying to seat itself. Okay, now that's on there, that's sealed good. We won't know for sure until we go for a quick ride. That's on there. I'm gonna check for pressure. Okay, this is 15 psi right now. It says inflate to 40. Feels extremely tight already. So I pumped the tires up to 30 psi. 40 just seemed extreme. I won't know for sure until I get on top or until I get on the bike. All right. Again, lithium based grease, and what that does is help prevent rust. There's no such thing as too much lube. All right. There's no thread or no tread pattern again, so this could go on anyway. Bam, it's on there. I'm gonna put my valve stem cover on. Put your retaining lock and your bolt on. So I was gonna do the pedals, but they spin freely, pretty smooth. So what I'm gonna do is just spray some lithium based WD-40 on this whole assembly on both sides. So we're gonna go to the next step. Gonna take off your chain guard, the chain in the rear tire, and that way I'll start lubing the chain. I'm gonna give it a scrub with the brush and scrub that a little bit with the brush. Oh, that don't even need to be scrubbed. That's completely surface. It's coming right off. Like it's coming off by hand. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna scrub that. I'm just gonna lube the chain real gnarly, put it back on. Removing the chain guard is easy. There's 2 bolts up front and the rear, or 2 screws up front and the rear. One is inside the crank. Bam. There's a little bit of rust in there, so I'm just gonna lube that a little bit. And then the rear right here. Oh, this one's on there. There we go. And when you lube up your bolts, it makes it easier to take them apart. Oh yeah, side note, I broke mine, but I would suggest a torque wrench on tightening your front and rear tires, the 2 bolts. That way you can get even pressure on both sides so you don't get a little wobble going. My method works, but there's a better method. There we go. Lube that up. That pops right out. See, there's a little rust in here, right there. I'm just gonna throw some grease right there, scrub it, throw a little bit of grease. The rest of that is just surface. I've already loosened the rear bolts. I'm gonna take those off. There's no locking washers in the rear, so you just pop it off. Chain to come off real simple too. So you got slack on the chain. Bam. Oh, he has a little lock right here, lock guard, to keep his tire on this side, right through here, right through there. So I need to loosen that, take that bracket off. All right, so I lubed it up pretty healthy. I'm gonna get some WD-40 lithium and I'm gonna spray it too. Also, when you put your chain on, it's loose right now. Make sure you put the chain on the sprocket first, and that way you can get the distance for your chain, because you don't want, see right now it's because it's loose, and you pull the tire back and you see how it picks that slack up. So you definitely want to do it that style. Now I'm going to tighten up the bolts, run the chain a few times to get the grease, the lithium grease, to lube up everything real decent. Then I'm gonna go for a test run. The bike tires are at 30 psi. I recommend 40, but I did 30 because 30 seems a little too much. And also make sure your lateral's right. See right here, it's too close. So you got to make sure your lateral's right. That's why I would advise using a torque wrench. That way you could get it spot on. So we took it for a test drive, and in here, let's see, it had a weird knot. You see that right there? How right in here in the bearing, how the tire goes over the bearing. That's because the locking nut right here is loose. So we have to tighten that to stop the lateral wobble. It's an easy fix. You just, on this bike it's 11/16. You just tighten it and it should knock that out. You can see it waddling. So we're gonna tighten this up. It's down tight. I think down is the way I need to go. Let's see. Yeah, it's not as bad. There we go. That should be good. Yep, there we go. Yep, now the only wobble is because of the loose nuts, that's retaining nuts. Yeah. So I'm going to tighten these and take it for another test drive. Okay, so now if you look in there, there's no wobble. I got it tight. The wheel spins and it doesn't hit the mud flap. So now I'm going to take it for another spin. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by. When you got balls, you can ride on a sexy machine like this. Thanks for coming.